Hey, welcome back to Floberg Runs, all things distance training and marathon running. Today I'm going through the 80 plus mile week that I just went through in training. Still have one more day, recording this on a Friday. I have my long run of 22 tomorrow. I want to break down every single day how it went and the context of where I'm at in the training block, being about 6 weeks out from my peak race in April. To give a little bit of context, in years past, I've only done about 50, maybe 60 miles a week at my peak in marathon training, and I wanted to try a little bit more volume in this training block to see if it affected me, maybe made me a little bit faster. Time will tell. I have some thoughts, especially after this week, so let's just dive in with each individual workout. The week started out right off the bat with my training plan. I had a double on Sunday. It was 6 miles in the morning, 4 miles in the evening. To give a little bit of context, the day before, I was supposed to run an 18-mile long run with, I believe, 8 of those being marathon pace. I lied. It was supposed to be 12 at marathon pace. I ended up doing 10 at marathon pace, 2 at a time with 1 mile jog in between. Went really well. Hit all of my times for that, but just felt like that was another 80-mile week, and it just felt like I was pretty done by the end of it. Chalked it up to a success with a 16-mile run, especially because I ran 8 earlier that day, catching up for the day I missed previously. So if that's any indication of how this is going, trying to get the mileage in, being a full-time business owner and a dad and husband has been really difficult. Some days I have to take off. The one I had to take off in the week previous was because I've been getting pain in one of my toes on my left foot. I haven't been talking about it, but I've been dealing with this pain in my second to smallest toe in my left foot for about a week and a half now. Just thought it was a little thing that hurts. My wife is convinced that it's tendonitis in my toe, and it definitely flared up after this run. Just been navigating that this week, but that's the context going into that first Sunday of 6 miles. So on the treadmill, had a very slow start, took it very easy on the first and second miles. These miles aren't accurate on Strava, especially on the treadmill. My Garmin, through a lot of trial and error, I've found that my Garmin matches the pace of the treadmill accurately when I'm going just under 8 minutes per mile. So like right around 7:50 pace, it's perfectly accurate. Everything slower than that, my watch reads it as faster, and everything faster than that, my watch reads it as slower. So that's super fun. I know that's a common thing that people struggle with on the treadmill. I just try to stick to the distance that the treadmill says, and so that's why a lot of my workouts won't be that exact length. Like this one reads 6.25 miles, even though it was actually 6. So in the evening, around 7:30 p.m. after my kids went to bed, I ran my 4 miles. Again, super easy, around 8 minutes per mile at a 141 average heart rate. And I ate too much food at dinner, so the first mile was fairly unpleasant. The next day I had 10 miles. Now the plan didn't dictate if this was supposed to be aerobic or easy, but I tend to do a lot of these workouts on the easier side. 81 miles now. I'm in the week where I'm doing 87, and I am dead set on doing it. We're doing 10 today. We got 15 tomorrow, a workout after that, and a 22 miler at the end of the week to cap it all off. So buckle up, let's get this. This one I took a little bit more steady because I was feeling a bit better that day. I ran it in the afternoon, so I got home early from work and I ran 10 full miles. Pretty cool to see at a 7:30 average pace. I was at 143 average BPM, so clearly getting in shape at this point. Really kind of turned it into like a progressive run towards the end with almost a marathon pace mile at the end. Now my heart rate average isn't completely accurate because this is based off of my watch. I recently got a chest strap to monitor heart rate, but I lost it on a trip, which is a huge bummer. It's just $100 on the drain. The few times that I did use it, it was honestly very similar to what my watch reads. So I know a lot of people really struggle with their watch, it being accurate with heart rate. Honestly, over the years, I've really kind of trusted this thing. It has been pretty consistent. I know when it's completely off. So when it's completely off, it's completely off. I'm about 2/3 done with this 10-mile run, and I am just so psyched. I'm running 7:30 to 7:40 pace per mile, but I'm under 145 BPM according to my watch. That gets me psyched. I legitimately think I might be in the best shape of my life right now, but I just don't realize it because I'm not tapered. So man, once that taper hits, it's game over. 6 weeks, let's go. What was brutal about this day was that the wind was just psychotic. Yeah, so the wind isn't so great. It's a little windy on this last third. It's supposed to be 10 miles plus 10 strides. But I'm gonna kind of do the strides in the last mile. And then any more that I have after the 10 miles is done, I'll just do it but just trying to get home in time from when I told my wife I'd be home. All right, here we go, let's try it. We got 7:31 per mile on average. Not bad. Gonna gear up for 15 in the morning. See you there. So through 2 days into this week, 10 miles a day, 20 miles total. So that would put me at 70 by the end. So needing to do more than 10 per day for the entire week. The next morning, remembered everything else, but forgot my watch, got on the treadmill and did 15 miles at about that 8-minute per mile pace again. But this one specifically, oh yeah, I don't have any data other because I didn't have my watch. This one specifically really started making that left toe hurt. Something that I've really been failing to do in this training block is laying out my clothes early in the morning. I know that I set myself up for success if I lay out my running outfit right next to the bed. So when my alarm goes off, I could just throw it on and head out the door. But I've been doing a lot of rummaging around in the dark at like 4:30 a.m. and it's been really brutal, especially with the cold. All right, it is currently 4:26 a.m. and I'm all geared up, ready to go do a 15-mile treadmill run. Thankfully, I have a gym membership where I can get on a treadmill, but doing 15 miles on a treadmill is no easy task. So watching a lot of YouTube while I run. Again, I wanna make it clear that these medium long runs in the 10 to 15 mile range are not at extreme effort. They're not even close to tempo. They are easy heart rate. So a lot of times I'm trying to stay in the 130s and 140s average BPM on these medium long runs. So through 3 days, 35 miles, and the next day was another double. So 6 in the morning, 4 in the evening. Didn't shake out that way. I was extremely tired in the morning. I snoozed. I'm human. Just got to admit it. And another thing I have to admit to, if you've been watching this whole series, I've been doing zero strength and conditioning. I'm just gonna be full on, flat out honest. Maybe that's part of why I'm getting some aches and pains in my feet. Don't know. Otherwise, my body's felt great. I've never done strength and conditioning in any marathon training for 5 years. Honestly, I heard a podcast recently that a very experienced elite coach was talking about how it might not necessarily be super necessary, but I know that's a really controversial thing to say. So let me know in the comments what you think about strength and conditioning, maybe cross training in a marathon. I know plenty of people are going to say that it's wicked important, but thankfully, I've been able to get through without any serious injuries so far, over halfway done with this 12-week block. So instead of doing my morning and evening, I actually ran my first run. I only had a little bit of time after work. I jumped out of the studio. We're really close to Wrigley Field where the Cubs play. So I took it upon myself on this 55-degree glorious day to go run around Wrigley Field, one of my favorite places in the city of Chicago. I really don't feel any toe pain right now. Just realized. That's great. There's another reason why I didn't want to run this morning. I was a little freaked out about aggravating the toe more. Gave it some more time to rest. Feels pretty good right now. So that's great. But I only did 4 miles then. That was around 4:30 in the evening. And I felt amazing. Like that kind of weather, or I could wear a t-shirt and half tights. I was just like, I wanted to rip. At one point I was running like 7:15, no problem, 7:15 pace, just like so comfortably. And then I like really pumped the brakes and was like, okay, you need to chill. These are just supposed to be recovery miles. But it made me so happy, made me so excited for the spring and summer. I've never trained through the winter. So now I have all this fitness going into warm weather and I am just like, losing my mind how excited I am going into warmer weather. So that beautiful sunset, 4 miles, and then I got home after the kids went to bed again around that 7:30 mark, did 6 miles in the evening. All right, going out for run 2, 6 miles. What are your thoughts?
Come back soon.
Still fairly warm, which is real nice, but as you can tell, it's pretty windy. Legs are feeling tired, so I'm just taking it very easy. About 8:15 to 8:30 pace. Hopefully, I feel pretty good by the morning for the 12 mile. 7 miles at lactate threshold. Not looking forward to that, I'm gonna be honest. See you in the morning. It's better light, probably. And I made a dad joke on Strava. What's the capital of Ireland? Dublin, because I did a double. I'm so sorry. Yeah, 8:15 pace, 8:15 per mile pace now is 132 average BPM. This is almost assuredly the best shape I've ever been in. And again, just getting me so excited. I mentioned this early in the training series, seeing the same paces you ran in the beginning towards the middle and end of your training block and recognizing the heart rate difference between those two is something that's wildly encouraging in seeing your fitness grow. So seeing that heart rate ratchet down as the pace stays the same week after week, a clear indicator that you're doing something right. I don't even know how many miles we're at now. Is that 45? I think we're at 45. And then the dreaded lactate threshold workout. 5:30 a.m., going for the workout. I had to drag myself out of bed. I'm dying right now. I haven't been doing all the things I know are beneficial for getting up early, like laying out your clothes. So it's just such a hot mess. Like I've just been walking around for like 15 minutes trying to gather everything and get my mind in the right place. I'm just hoping this workout goes okay. I hope I can at least get something out of this workout. We'll see what happens. I stuck to it and I ran this in the morning. I did not feel great. Also, our kitchen's being renovated right now. Our kitchen's in our living room. Fridge, food, folding tables, microwave, cabinets, just lying around the house. It's chaos. It's also another reason why it's just really hard to get up and to move around the house early in the morning. One more thing. Rocking the Endorphin Speed 3s. I've been doing every workout in this shoe. Love them. Great alternative to breaking in the Endorphin Pro 3, which is what I race in. Very similar, plated shoe. Lots of speed. I'm at 4 miles of warm up, 7 miles of LT, 2 miles of cool down. Let's go. I really hope I'm surprised by this workout session, but the way it's feeling right now, I do not think this is gonna go very well. Almost done with my 3rd warm-up mile. I'll start setting it for 7. Here we go. I do not have it this morning. I'm only at mile 2, and I am dying. All right, did a 2-mile rep. Doing a mile down. Gonna try another 2-mile rep here. It's gonna be brutal. Here we go, mile 7. Rep 2 of LT pace, going for 6:20 to 6:15. Hurts a lot, but I'm sticking to it. Quarter mile left. Oh man, 6:10 pace. Glad I stuck with this one. Oh, 6:06. My legs are like fully blasted. I'm gonna try to do one more rep, 1 mile at LT. See how it goes. So yeah, the goal was 7 miles at lactate threshold. I really wanted those to be straight 7 miles, straight through. Did not get that. The body was just not feeling it that morning. Went 2 on, 1 off, 2 on, 1 off, 1 on, 1 off. Was happy with 5 LT miles. When I was running those LT miles, I was hitting my paces. I was going, between 6:05 and 6:20, which was great. Honestly, fully recognizing the criticism of high mileage, because one of the big criticisms is that the volume on your legs doesn't give you the ability to do workouts to the full capacity, and that might be the truth today. Honestly, given the circumstances, I'm happy with 5 miles at LT with some mile rest, mile jogs. Not exactly what I wanted today, but I'm still on course for the 87-mile week, and that's my target this week. So nothing is going to be proven until I run under 2 hours and 50 minutes in the actual race. So we'll see if it works. All right, that's 1 mile of cool down. I have 1 more, and 12 miles is wrapped for the day. Feeling indifferent on this effort. Very happy I got somewhat of a workout in. It's hard not to feel discouraged when you can't do what you set out to do. All right, today 12 miles in the bag. Toe on the left foot still hurts. It does feel like tendonitis, like my tendonitis in my ankle on my right foot. Kind of that dull pain. Can absolutely run and work through it, but it's just annoying and nagging. The pain level is very day to day. It can be really intense. Got a workout last week or earlier this week that was higher mileage and it hurt. Yesterday I barely felt it at all. So it's a day by day thing. I'm gonna start looking up exercises and how to deal with it. On to tomorrow, 8 miles easy. I'll see you then. What is really encouraging is those LT miles. In the midst of them, I was, still in my 160s for BPM. That mile 8 at 6:07 was a 167 BPM, so it was kind of getting up there on that one, but The other one's at kind of low 160s, low to mid 160s, which is also really encouraging. So with a taper, I'm like, I might be able to sustain that for almost a whole marathon, which is crazy. Well under my marathon pace, which is 6:29 per mile, which led to this morning, which was just easy 8 miles with 6 100-meter strides. Super awkward to do strides on the treadmill next to somebody else, just absolutely ripping on it. Like, you know that noise it makes when you're sprinting on a treadmill? You just look like an absolute psycho. It's kind of hysterical. The Hokas finally got some dirt on them. Picked the kids up from school the day before, and my daughter got some mud. And the pristine white Hokas brought a tear to my eye, so that sucks. But again, I'm around that 8 flat pace, which is my easy pace, and at 136 BPM average, which again, just wildly encouraging that is the case. Body feels good right now. I feel pretty well rested. I'm also need to be honest that like time has been a very difficult thing for me this week, last week, in these higher mileage weeks, because I have like zero free time between dropping kids off at school, picking them up, being home in time for dinner at the right time, back home before morning workouts without my wife having to tend to the kids all morning. It's a very tight window. So like I have been sacrificing rolling my legs. I've been sacrificing using my balance disc to tend to my posterior tibial tendonitis in my ankle, on my right ankle. You know, thankfully nothing drastic has happened, but I really need to be proactive instead of reactive right now on those things. I've been doing some massage guns, some Theragun. I've been doing a little bit of the Normatec compression boots at night. I really need to be better about that. I need to be better about nutrition, just really kind of let that stuff fall by the wayside. And that is my default when I'm training. I'm always like, well, I'll be fine. And I know I will be until I'm not. Thankfully, I'm still relatively young. I can kind of get by, I think, with this right now. Moving into these final weeks and into the taper, I'm gonna start being much more intentional about that stuff, about getting the nutrition in, about sitting down on the weekends and planning out meals and food and time to roll and take care of my body. So do as I say, not as I do. Okay, 22 miles. Let's finish out this week. 87 total.
All right, I can't remember if I talked about this on a previous episode, but I tried to put 2 bottles out on long runs on my driveway, water and Gatorade. Gatorade's gonna be on the course at Carmel, so I like to train with this. So every 4-mile loop I do for my long runs, I alternate between water and Gatorade. And then I carry all my gels in the pockets of my half tights. I'm going to take one of the caffeinated ones before this run, and then I'm gonna be doing 4 throughout the run. It might end up being 3, but I'm gonna actually eliminate the strawberry smoothie one out of my rotation. And today I was doing a little bit of research on the back. I think what I'm gonna do at Carmel is I'm gonna take the caffeinated one before the race, and then I'm gonna like do full on awesome sauce, applesauce one the entire race, because this thing has 45 grams of carbs as opposed to 17 grams in the smoothie, strawberry smoothie, and only 19 in the caffeinated speed nut one. And the speed nut one is 250 calories, which seems like it might be too many calories. So this is a nice middle ground of 180 calories. So I'm hoping that 5 of these during the race are gonna be enough. And this is the one that sits easiest with me. So we're gonna test that out race day. I only have 2 left right now. I've just ordered like 18 more of them for the rest of training and the race. It's about 45 degrees right now. I don't know what that is Celsius. We could put that here. And I'm gonna be wearing gloves because I'm just wearing this t-shirt and half tights out there. So I'm gonna have the gloves probably for half the run. Once I'm warm enough, I'll ditch them in the yard. Pretty sure I'm gonna be warm enough. This is like perfect race temperature. Then also, as per usual on my long runs, I'm gonna be supplementing with the salt tablets. So I'll put that in a little Ziploc bag, and then probably every loop, every 4 miles. Last thing, all my long runs, I've been doing some sort of combination of like 1 mile on, 1 mile off, or 2 miles on, 2 miles off, or 6 to 9 straight marathon pace miles. But I was reading through Advanced Marathoning, which is the book that I'm working on this training block. Looking at the long run section, I'm really just taking this one to heart today on the longest run of the entire block, 22-mile run today. Start out at the slow end of the range, gradually pick up the pace so you run at least 5 to 10 miles at 10% slower than your goal marathon race pace. Gradually picking up the pace during your long runs and finishing strongly, which will also provide positive psychological reinforcement that you're in control of the marathon. To gain the greatest benefit, design your long run courses to simulate the hill profile, which Carmel's completely flat. And then it also goes to say that the schedules include marathon specific long runs, which is what I've already done. There were ones that said do X amount of miles at marathon pace. So I did did, I believe, 3 of those workouts already, and there's no more long runs at marathon pace with marathon pace miles. So today I'm gonna be starting off, because earlier in this paragraph it says the most beneficial intensity range for most of your long runs is 10 to 20% slower than your goal marathon race pace. So for me, at 6:29 per mile, 20% slower of that is like 7:50 per mile pace. Today, I'm gonna start out at 7:50 per mile, probably on the first loop, 4 miles, and then just slowly start to get faster and faster down to 10% slower, which is gonna be around the 7:05 per mile mark. So I'm not really planning on breaking 7 minutes per mile today, unless I feel like really, really good in the last 3 miles, which I don't know if I will. It's 22 miles, so it's gonna be pretty tiring by the end, and I'm at the end of an 87-mile week, which I'm surprised at how good I feel at the end of an 87-mile week. So bring the GoPro. I hope this week was interesting, and this is a nice finale. All right, say bye.
Bye.
I hate gels. This is so much easier to eat when I'm not running, though. Like, it actually tastes kind of good right now. Also, I ate 2 bagels yesterday, another bagel and a half this morning, plus the peanut butter toast, the fig bar. So I feel like I'm decently carbed up. I'm definitely drank enough water last night and this morning, so I feel hydrated. I feel like I prepped pretty decent for this one. We'll see how it goes. Also going with the Endorphin Speed 3s for this long run, trying to emulate the Pro 3s that I'm gonna be racing in without using the Pro 3s and putting more miles on them. These have been amazing for workouts and long runs this whole training block. Super light, plated, foam, fruit by the foot. All right, here we go. 7:50 to start, just taking it nice and easy. Let's get this in. I don't know if it's just because I'm excited to do the longest run in the training block. I'm having a hard time staying around 7:45, 7:50, so I gotta chill a little bit. I know my body's gonna thank me later, past mile 18. Honestly, been trying so hard to keep it chill. I'm at like 7:30, 7:35 pace. It just feels very, very easy. Finishing loop number 1, still on about 7:30, 7:35 pace. Gonna take my first salt tab. Gel 1. Here we go. Hate this flavor. Trying to be better about not letting it touch my taste buds, because that's what makes me feel nauseous. Closing in on lap 2. I'm gonna kind of chill here for a while. Take another salt pill. I was just listening to Ben is running and his breakdown of his Osaka marathon. One of his pieces of advice was, take your gels slowly. Don't feel like you need to suck it down so quickly. I'm gonna try to practice that now and take this second speed nut one over the course of a whole mile, just very, very slowly. I think that's gonna help with my nausea as well. Wasn't as nauseating, took a lot of mental energy, so I don't know if I like it. Closing in on lap number 3. Starting to feel it.
Heavy, burn the boat, I ain't surrendering. Lights out, fever running, non-stop, full on, gotta keep it going. Nobody hold me down. Nothing gonna stop me now.
Dang it! Small hiccup. Let's go, I feel better. Yes! It's not how I wanted the last mile to be, but man, obviously overdid it. But I don't know. I feel like a workout like this could be the psychological push I need to know I can do it. Recovery tomorrow. Very, very easy running tomorrow. Let's go.
Final thoughts. I don't really know if I like high mileage, to be perfectly honest. There's a reason why elites can do it. There's a reason why elites do it. I think there are massive benefits to getting that much mileage on your legs, maybe 2 workouts a week like the Ingebrigtsens in Norway. They have all the time in the world to rest and recover. Whereas I'm working a full-time job, I'm a dad, like I'm always on the move, and I don't have that time to rest and recover and sleep in the same way they do. I'm interested in, like medium volume instead of this 70 to 80 mile week peak, more back in the 50 to 60, and maybe contemplating doing 2 workouts a week. That might be something I look into for my fall training plan. But as for now, I want to continue with this test and to see it through and see what it does for me, because I might absolutely crush this goal in April and then be like, well, I might want to do it again. But something my wife said to me last night, she's like, I can't sustain you doing this the rest of your life the way you're doing it right now. And I was like, okay, so yeah, probably won't be doing it then. Hope this was fun. Hope it was interesting. And I hope you're getting out there and getting your runs in. If you're not, get up, get out. See you in the next one.